decided to go check a camera. The camera that just so happens to be, I don't know, probably 50 yards or so in front of the stand that I shot Wally out of. I was certain that I was looking at him on the hoof last night, at last light. That has been 100% confirmed. The deer is alive. And he was on the camera that I checked this morning. He was on it in the middle of the night on the 9th, which was yesterday. He was on it at like 2 in the morning. I'm excited about that. Very excited about that, the fact that I can continue to hunt him. But I'm very disappointed in my ability to judge what happened the other night, or lack thereof, I should say. Because initially I thought that I made a pretty good shot, and obviously once we took the blood up, I was like, okay, the shot is clearly not what I thought it was. The shot was very high and far back, a lot higher than I thought. I would like to see the exit, because the arrow did eventually pass through the deer, but I was really surprised when I saw the mark on that deer where I hit that deer. I don't know, I screwed it up big time, but what are you gonna do now? You can't do anything about it now. You just gotta learn from it. And I'm embarrassed, really, by that shot and how it went, and just feel really crappy about it. And I feel really bad that I had my opportunity right there and I blew it. But I feel even worse that I just wounded the deer. I mean, I absolutely hate doing that. But I'm walking into the stand here this afternoon, just a little while ago, probably an hour ago, 45 minutes ago. And I'm sneaking down this edge like I've done, a handful of times. I'm in this bottom set on the edge of this draw. Got this cornfield out in front of me. This is the cornfield that I saw him in last night. So I wanted to be somewhere around food, because if he's still on the doe that he was on last night, she's going to want to come to food eventually. And I felt like he would be in this area, even though I didn't see him this morning. So I'm slipping in down this edge, pretty quiet, and got a perfect wind. And I hear some rustling in the leaves in the draw when I get about 40 yards from the stand. So I stop, listen, stand there for a couple minutes, nothing. So I continue to walk. I get about 10 yards closer, so I'm probably 30 yards, I would say, give or take, from the stand, just around these bushes out here behind me. And I hear footsteps. A deer gets up from the draw, pops out of the draw, 15, 20 yards from me. It's that big old doe, the same one that he was following the night that I shot him. I hit the deck immediately, down to my knees. I hear a grunt. I grab an arrow. He is in Wally, the big 10-pointer that I'm talking about and hunting and shot already, bust out of the draw right behind her, grunting behind her, chasing this doe down. Ran past me 15, 20 yards. And I'm fumbling trying to get this arrow out of my quiver to get it knocked. And he runs out to about 40 yards and stops and turns around and looks at me perfectly broadside. And I still don't have this arrow knocked. He was just more focused on chasing down his doe than he was spooked of me. And so he just turned around and chased after his doe up over this hill down here in this bottom where she ran. Hopefully they didn't run too far. And hopefully they're just right down here in this bottom, and maybe I'll get lucky and that doe will decide to come back out here. But that's where I'm sitting right now. That's what's going on. That's what has transpired. I know I've been talking for a long time, but there's so much developing in this story constantly that I've got to keep updating, just to keep up with all that's happening with this buck. But hopefully, like I said, they weren't that spooked. They didn't know what I was. They couldn't smell me or anything. And maybe that doe will come back out here in a little while, later this evening. Feeling that since they didn't know what I was, or they didn't really spook earlier when I bumped them, that doe was going to come back out here to feed tonight. And you can clearly see where I hit that deer last time, and it is far back and high. I still don't know how I did that. I heard some crashing through the brush right here next to me. Doe popped out right here. So I thought he was gonna come out right behind her, literally 18 yards. And so I got ready to draw my bow, and I just started the draw cycle, and she turned around and looked right at me. And I guess I shouldn't have been drawn yet. It was a little premature, but I could hear him crashing through the brush, and he was grunting as he was coming in here. I don't know if you could hear any of that on film, but I knew it was him, and I thought he was going to pop out right here on this exact same trail that she came out on, but he popped out over there like he was flanking her, and you can probably just barely see him. I just turned the camera on record and zoomed all the way out. He was probably at 70, 72, something like that, standing on that hillside. close call. This keeps getting crazier and crazier with this deer. I thought he was going to pop out right here at 18 yards. That's encounter number 8 now. That's a wrap for the first portion of the 2023 Illinois archery season, and it's been a great one. I've had a blast, even with some of the hardships and ups and downs. You know, that's obviously part of it. That's why we love this. I love the chase, but I've had some incredible encounters with a lot of different mature bucks, and I've had 8 encounters to be exact with the one buck that I've been chasing, the one buck that I've really been targeting. And so all those encounters have been amazing. Even the one that I blew where I actually got a shot at the deer, that was still an incredible experience. And the season's been great to this point, and hopefully it will continue to just get better. My window of opportunity to hunt this buck is rapidly closing. Last season, just judging from trail camera data, the buck was not utilizing the property near as much as we
exited the rut and got into late season. I don't remember. I'd have to go back and look at trail camera pictures, but I barely remember getting pictures of the deer in December, if we did at all. I was teetering on whether or not to pull the gun out for gun season. Ultimately, I've decided that I'm for sure going to be pulling the muzzleloader out. So anyway, going to take a look at the weather and the wind and what the conditions are going to be like and decide where to go, and then we'll be back in the tree in the morning.